mean, it really was teamwork, and and they were always there for each other.
Since 1990, they have pursued other careers, yet Judy continues to coach sailing at the St. Margaret's Club, while Morag, teaching in France, is about to resume sailing, although not quite as competitively as the pair did 15 and more years ago. Their success impacted young sailors. Lisa Ross, a 2004 Olympic sailor from Nova Scotia, says, quote, "What Judy and Morag accomplished in 1986 set a legacy of excellence in international performance for sailing and for women's sailing in the province. They showed it was possible for Nova Scotia sailors to reach the pinnacle of the sport in international competition, which inspired young sailors like me," end quote. She adds how she remembers both women being encouraging and helping to open opportunities in the sport. And that is commendation enough. Besides the championships on the water, their performances inspired young people to follow. And that is a phenomenal legacy for our newest inductees in the athlete category of the Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Fame, the World Championship Sailing Team, Judy Lugar and Morag McLean. Very nice, huh? Congratulations. The plaque presenter is Kevin Sanford, the promotions manager at the Chronicle Herald. The pin presenter is Sandy McMillan, who with team members Glenn Dexter and Andreas, let me try that one more time, Josenhans, I knew that would get me, was inducted to the Hall of Fame in 1983 after winning 2 World Sailing Championships. Very nice. You want to step forward here? A gift from the province of Nova Scotia, those flowers. Very nice indeed. Judy, chemistry is it's a tough thing to define, and sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. Can you put a finger on why this worked?
I think because Morag kept me in line. She was the closest thing I have had and probably ever will have to a sister, and she has a lot more siblings than I do, and she just she kind of laid things out, and there was no beating around the bush.
No gray area, as they say.
No, and that's why we sort of had to learn how to communicate on the boat, because I had been accustomed to sailing alone, and I only sort of hopefully made the same mistake just a few times, because Morag was pretty direct in being able to correct me.
It's interesting. She's still a competitor, because we were reading that, and we said by about 40 seconds. You go 44. We won by 44.
No, the second place boat at the World Championships was just 0.4 points behind us. It wasn't 40 points. It was actually very close in the last race.
Oh, so it was closer than we indicated.
Last race, last beat, last 10 minutes. Yeah.
This is unlike CBC to downplay the drama. It was more dramatic than...
Yeah, we didn't know when we crossed the line we'd won or not. We had to wait till the coach counted the points, and then we got to screaming, yeah.
We got to start this again. Could you sit back? No, that was... Can you talk about what it is like, though? I can only imagine, and people out here, to be not just a provincial or a national, but a world champion. What does that, and how does that fill you up when you hear that word associated with your name?
World champion. To me, it's a very special moment in time where, for a very brief moment, maybe for a day or a week or so, you're the best at doing something. You're the very best at doing something well, and I think that's where I get most of the satisfaction. Is that at that time, Morag and I, we just there was no one better at that time. Of course, those things change, but I think it was a big surprise for us, but. We really tried to take it as far as we could.
Do you want to chime in on that as well?
Well, the one good thing about the sport in sailing is that it makes you stay humble, because the conditions change all the time. The different wind, different landforms, everything changes. So you're very pleased when you have a good result, but at the same time that you know that the next time you go out in the water, things can change, and maybe it'll be last, and you still have to work really hard at it. So it was wonderful for that time to know that we did really well, and it also is a sport that makes you that motivates you to continue to push yourself all the time, and I think having been world champions, that helped us keep going and trying to obtain the same results, which we didn't have again, but it was wonderful trying.
Just a final question about legacy, because we heard the great comments there about how you have inspired sailors, 20 years hence, from 1986 on. What it's like to know that young women out in Nova Scotia are still looking at those results and saying, wow, we can do it too.
Well, I hope those results mean something to them, but I also hope that just being able to talk to us, and Morag has her own sort of contact with younger sailors on a day-to-day basis. Working with the young sailors every day is just as much fun, and I think is just as effective.
And a final thought.
Thanks, Judy.
My pleasure, Morag.
Okay, well listen, they're going to wrap it up. I love that. They still got the chemistry right here. McLean and Lugar, thank you so much and congratulations.